From skinwalkers on camera, strange orb moving erratically across Los Angeles sky, some of the most bizarre sights and mysterious disappearances. These are a few of the things we'll look at. Stick to the end. This footage comes from Romania. A security camera managed to capture something bizarre during the night. Take a look. It clearly does not look human. It has bizarre arms and legs, but the most disturbing part of its body is that hunched back, like it is severely deformed. People online claim this is in fact the real form of a skinwalker. When not taking up any shape, its own form is grotesque and similar to this one. What do you think? Could this be the case? I think we all know what is going on nowadays with all the UAP sightings, but this one is more bizarre.
Look! I don't think that's it. It's not
This one is from Los Angeles and shows this strange glowing orb changing course and speed rapidly. So we can dismiss entirely the idea that it is a comet. A drone would also not fit, because these do not have tails and certainly are not that bright. So what exactly could this be? Could this be an aircraft we have never seen before? Take a look at this insane footage. I have no idea whether this is real or not. I have never heard of such big snails before. Could it be an animatronic? Although, it looks way too good. Whatever the case, my megalophobia went through the roof. This man found himself in a particular dangerous situation. He took a nap in a field, and apparently, this cobra snake decided to make his shirt its home.
अभी आवाज आ रही भाई साहब अभी भाई 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 हाथ हटाओ काट लेगा हाँ कहाँ पे उठाओ जरा देखो ये देख बोलना नहीं अरे अरे ये आया कैसे बहुत बड़ा ये रहा देख अभी ये तो नाक कोबरा लग रहा है कोबरा निकल रहा
Despite its aggressive reputation, the king cobra is actually much more cautious than many smaller snakes. And although a dangerous species, it prefers to escape rather than fight. So the careful approach was essential here. Kenny Veach embarked on a solo trip into the depths of a cave and never made it out. Kenny Veach is a YouTuber who unveils different mysteries, finds uncommon places to entertain viewers, and educate them with the unseen wonders of the world. But on a fateful day, he set out to thrill his fans with another experience. However, that was the last time he was seen again. Around late 2014, Kenny posted what seems to be the worst experience of his life. He talked about his not-so-good experience at a cave he had previously visited. But Kenny was too curious to let go of that mysterious feeling and wanted to know what exactly triggered the feeling he got. So he set off to find the mysterious cave for a second time. Armed with a 9mm handgun and a video camera, Kenny believed he would be safe exploring the cave since he had his firearm near him. He began his exploration with nothing much going on at first. Just like any other hiker, Kenny had some supplies packed in his bag, and he decides to test his body limits to predict his survival in this hike. As he continues the journey, Kenny begins to see some small, strange caves, but not quite the one he is looking for. After disregarding these caves, something catches his eyes.
I'm not going up there.
As opposed to going back and ending the vlog, Kenny confesses to having seen some evidence of danger around this site. He mentioned that he had come across different skulls around the area, a clear indication that predators, such as mountain lions, could be living in the area. It was clear to Kenny that this site isn't a place to mess with, because other hikers also tend to avoid it. After a while of walking around and not finding the cave, he decided to call it a day. These are the last moments anyone has seen Kenny alive. There has been different speculation about Kenny's disappearance. While some claim that he got attacked by a predator in the desert, others did say he got stuck in the caves on site. However, the truth might actually be darker than this. This comment was allegedly made by his girlfriend, giving an explanation of what might have happened. Kenny had shown signs of depression. For 1 year, he had no work. He tried to make a business on his own, decorating homes in a cowboy style. However, things were not going well, and his money was running out, and so was his mental health. He even had conversations about so-called pulling a Robin Williams on her, but the crucial thing he mentioned was that if he decides to do exactly that, end things altogether, he would never be found. In the video, there are no signs that he's about to do anything reckless. If one looks at the video without knowing the story, he'd say he's doing quite well. But just like in many cases, depression could be hiding behind a big, bright smile. Could this be the ending of his story and the reason of his disappearance? I will leave it up to you to decide. Kenny's story was quite tragic, but it is even more horrifying to go missing, with the traces of your husband being a prime suspect. And this is exactly the next story, the story of Susan Powell's last moments. In December 2009, Susan Powell, a mother of 2 kids, vanished without a trace after she failed to show up for work one morning. But Susan's disappearance was not without warning. A year earlier, she had revealed a haunting fear to her friends.
Making sure that if something happens to me or my family or all of us, that our assets are documented.
That she was growing distrustful and didn't feel safe in her home. On this same day, Susan wrote a letter indicating her family problems and what she has been going through mentally. In this letter, she wrote that her husband said, "If we divorce, there will be no lawyers, only mediators, and I will ruin you." The letter also mentioned this horrifying statement by Susan's husband: "I will be ruined too, but your life will be over, and the boys will grow up without a mom and dad." Susan was so scared that she included in her letter that she had earlier spoken to some people about the issues, and that if anything happens to her, they should know all the details. As much as she wanted her marriage to work out, this letter was the only passing note found to be reasonable and useful after her disappearance. Towards the end of the letter, Susan included that whoever sees that text should at the very least take care of her boys. Little did she know that her imaginations would become a reality. This feeling of fear grew drastically within the space of a month, causing her to make a video where she talked about her skepticism of her safety in July 2008. According to her suspicions, Susan feared that her husband might be going crazy and she would be exhibiting some unusual behaviors that might cause a change in her life and that of her children. While documenting this video on this particular day, Susan feared that this tape might run into the hands of her husband. She stated that the video was for the purpose of taking an inventory for the house, just for insurance's purposes. While taking this inventory, Susan started dropping some hints on the unusual behavior exhibited by her husband. According to her, her husband kept on buying a lot of unnecessary stuff and storing them into the house. After taping these buckets of wheat as well as other things her husband had earlier purchased with a lot of money, Susan begins to unveil the unbelievable part of this story. According to Susan, her husband became broke as a result of panic purchases of unnecessary things. This wasn't so much of a concern for her until he started using her credit card for these purchases, forcing her to buy things she doesn't need, all against her own will. Susan, quite unhappy, rants and complains about how stupidly her husband spent her money, but that's not all. Susan shows some evidence that her husband's attitude did not only stop with him spending both their funds, he also ran the whole family into debt. It gets to the scary part, where she mentioned that her husband is a very destructive person, especially in the moments when he's angry. Susan shows the destructive part of her husband, which later became a major clue for her missing case to be solved. This evidence showed by Susan has become the very last thing she showed the world. She was never seen again. The speculations are that Susan ran away because she couldn't cope. But the most dominant rumor about her disappearance is that something darker happened at the hands of her husband. Her husband might have found this tape and could have exhibited anger to a point he never showed before. Following Susan Powell's disappearance in December 2009, her husband, Joshua Powell, became the primary person of interest. Despite mounting suspicions, authorities lacked sufficient evidence to charge him. However, things took an even darker turn. At this point, everyone was pointing fingers at Joshua, and perhaps, out of exhaustion from the investigation, guilt, or losing the custody of his children, he made a tragic decision. On February 5th, 2012, during a supervised visit, Joshua set off a deliberate house explosion while he was inside with his two sons, ending their lives. Despite extensive searches and investigations, Susan's remains have never been found, and she is presumed dead. The case remains unsolved, leaving lingering questions about her fate. But don't think that Susan's story is the scariest, because there's more to come, and nothing will prepare you for what is set to happen in the next video. In November 2018, Kelsey Barrett, a 29-year-old mother to a little girl, was last seen with her child outside her home. A surveillance footage shows Kelsey and her 1-year-old daughter at the Woodland Park supermarket. This footage is the last moment where Kelsey was seen alive. Her fiancé testified that he dropped their child off with her that morning, after which she left for the supermarket, and this implies that he was the last person that saw her before her disappearance. On the Thanksgiving morning, a neighbor's security camera captured Kelsey with a baby carrier, standing at the door with her ex, Patrick Frazee. Later that day, Patrick was seen alone at Kelsey's door, leaving behind a haunting question. What had happened to Kelsey and her baby? According to reports, her disappearance was a tragic series of events that led to her sudden demise. Her demise didn't seem like a spur of the moment. It looked more like it was planned and properly executed. Her former fiancé, Patrick Frazee, was said to have been involved in her death. A witness known as Crystal Lee was found to testify about the events that unfolded on the day that Kelsey was eliminated. This witness claimed that Frazee eliminated and buried Kelsey to cover his footprints. According to Crystal, she helped clean the bloodstains from the wall and the floor. After Kelsey's disappearance, Frazee was seen avoiding the media, running away from them, and trying to avoid answering any questions that might expose him in the long run. Things unveiled pretty fast as Crystal decided to show the police some of the major evidence involving Kelsey's case. You would think that the only thing Crystal knew about the case was just the cleaning of blood, but there's really more than meets the eye. Apparently, She knows the dark and in-depth part of this case. This time, Crystal takes the police to where Frazee was accused of burning Kelsey's belongings and where he also buried her body. The twisted side is that Crystal was allowed to be free based on immunity, although a lot of people believed that she is an accomplice and that she deserved jail time. Frazee's main reason for eliminating his ex-fiancée still remains unclear to the public, and this story continues to leave more questions than answers. If you think Kelsey's story is the most unsettling, buckle up, because the disappearance of Stephen Kocher is about to take your fear to a whole new level. On the 13th of December, 2009, a security camera captured 30-year-old Stephen Kocher arriving in a residential neighborhood where he parked his car. Some moments after, he was seen walking down the sidewalk before he vanishes without a trace. On the day of his disappearance, records show Kocher was in the Las Vegas Valley for several hours, before ultimately parking his car at the end of Savannah Springs Avenue and walking toward his destination, which is unknown. Stephen's brother, still in a state of disbelief, was confused as to why he walked away from his home and never returned. He believed that this incident could not have been planned by Stephen and that his brother must have encountered someone or something. Stephen Kocher's neighbor also speaks up about his last encounter with the missing victim. At that time, Stephen was living in Utah and was said to be owing his house rent. Aside from this, it was reported that Stephen might also be in other debt. Could Stephen have vanished due to his depressing financial state? While some believe that he absconded to avoid paying his debts in order to stay in hiding forever under the guise of a missing victim, people close to him believe that something tragic must have happened to him. The case of Stephen Kocher's sudden disappearance remains a mystery, leaving behind only whispers of speculation and suspicion, and the only evidence of him being alive is the CCTV footage captured. The disappearance of Andrew Gosden. On September 14th, 2007, Andrew Gosden woke up early in the morning and got dressed in his school uniform. He bid goodbye to his family and set off towards school. However, that was the last time his family ever seen him again.
You off now? Yes, he said. See you later. Yep. And that was the last conversation I ever had with him.
A security camera captured Andrew leaving the King Cross station after he left his home in Doncaster. Earlier that morning, he had withdrawn some money from his bank account and bought a one-way train ticket to London. But why would a young teenager take off to London alone? Was he planning to meet someone? The details are shocking. Some days before his disappearance, Andrew did something out of character. He walked home from school instead of taking the bus, which was a 4-mile journey, and he repeated this the next day. On the day he went missing, he left home telling his parents that he was leaving for school, but after a series of phone calls, they learned that he had not been in school that day, and witnesses also attest to this. The last set of media evidence of Andrew's existence were found in different CCTV footage in Doncaster, where he was looking panicked, turning his head left and right as if he's checking if he's being followed. Following his disappearance, there have been different suspicions and concerns circulating online. But this is where the investigation gets more disturbing. Andrew might have been, in fact, abducted. Many people who've noticed the case refer to something called the burner phone theory. Since Andrew was not active on social media, it's plausible that any connection he formed with this kidnapper happened in person, potentially at the university convention. On the night before his disappearance, he watched some bands perform at the 6th concert, a possible ground for meeting a shady character. The shared interest in heavy metal music could have been the foundation of this connection, making him more likely to trust the individual's intentions. Moreover, Andrew not purchasing a return ticket may suggest he was relying on someone else for transportation home, possibly someone who offered him a ride after the concert or meeting. The groomer may have insisted on Andrew traveling via train to minimize witnesses and avoid being seen picking him up. King's Cross Station, known for its heavy CCTV coverage, might have been selected to create the appearance that the groomer wasn't directly involved. It's possible the groomer directed Andrew to a less public area, either under the guise of a concert venue or a meeting spot, to avoid detection. This would also align with the idea of someone being careful not to leave a trail. The different speculations about his disappearance remain uncertain, but the Gosden family still hope they will find their child. To this day, unfortunately, no one knows what happened to Andrew. Is Andrew dead or alive? Did he just run from home? Or was he kidnapped?
I would prefer to have a bag of bones that could be identified by DNA or something and know that, because then, you know, you would have some closure to it, however painful.
But Andrew's case is nothing compared to how bizarre the last footage we have of Scientists claim that we've only explored a mere 5% of our vast oceans, leaving us to ponder about the creatures that might inhabit the remaining 95%. This video, taken on a beach, provides a glimpse into that mysterious underwater world. It showcases bizarre aquatic creatures that resemble strips of bacon, moving in a manner reminiscent of worms. These creatures, with their bacon-like appearance, take an even stranger turn in the video, as one of them expels a white web-like structure from its front, which drops onto the ground. Interestingly, this web-like structure closely resembles what ribbon worms eject from their bodies to capture prey. While it seems plausible that these creatures could be a rare species of ribbon worms, it's challenging to be certain without more information. The ocean continues to hold secrets that intrigue and baffle us. Being stared at or feeling someone lurking can be an eerie and unsettling experience on its own. But when you're unsure whether the thing staring at you is real or not, it adds an extra layer of fear. In this video, an explorer makes a creepy discovery while hiking in the mountains. They come across a small opening, and inside, they find a face constructed from stones, seemingly staring back at them. What makes it even creepier is that the face appears to be smiling, and there is a whole dark vibe about that smile. Also, there's a strange transformation noted by some viewers. At the beginning of the video, the face might not have been smiling, but as the camera zooms in, it seems to smile directly at the camera. This experience is truly chilling, especially considering it's in a remote mountain area where it's unlikely someone created the face for tourist purposes. Trail cameras and Bigfoot sightings often go hand in hand, leaving us wondering whether these legendary creatures truly exist. In this trail cam footage, we can see a dark black figure lurking behind a tree, attempting to remain hidden from the trail camera's view. However, after some time, it approaches a bit close to the camera, allowing us to discern some of its features. The creature appears to be covered in a thick coat of black hair, and its overall shape resembles that of a classic Bigfoot. Moreover, since we can only see its upper body frame, it's evident that the creature is quite wide and towering in stature. So, what do you think this creature was? Was it merely a buffed-up gorilla or a genuine sighting of the mighty Bigfoot? While hiking in the forest, it's essential to be aware of potential animal predators to ensure your safety. However, what about trees? Can they host such things? In this video, captured by a hiker on a forest trail in Canada, we can see a figure that resembles a human standing on top of a tree in the distance. This figure appears to maintain its balance effortlessly, without the need for hand support. It moves around, and it has human-like features, including skinny arms, a head that resembles a human shape, and long hair. People who have viewed this video have suggested that it might be an experienced tree climber, possibly a local forest resident. Nevertheless, the ease with which this figure stands on the tree is both unsettling and remarkable. It raises questions about the potential presence of skilled climbers in the forest canopy and adds an intriguing layer of mystery to the wilderness. This video was posted on Facebook by a user named Aristo, who was convinced that he had captured Bigfoot on his camera. The video starts with the cameraman running and breathing heavily, as if he had spotted something in the woods and was either trying to capture it on camera or possibly even running from it. After a moment, the cameraman stops and focuses his camera on the distance, revealing a massive dark black creature that resembles an ape making its way through the bushes. This confirms that the cameraman was indeed chasing after this creature. As the cameraman moves a bit closer, he captures another glimpse of this creature, and this time we see it standing upright. Its posture is unlike that of a gorilla, more reminiscent of a human. It's also quite tall and has long arms. Nevertheless, I want to believe that it was indeed an ape or a gorilla. Otherwise, my fear whispers that it must be Bigfoot. This video takes us to the Philippines, where locals are gathered around a creature perched on a store roof during the night. As one of the locals shines a flashlight on the cryptid, we get a glimpse of its truly terrifying features. The creature has a human-like body and facial features, but the way it is hunched on the roof is incredibly eerie and sends shivers down one's spine. This menacing creature appears to be possibly lurking for something. What's particularly strange is that in the street beside the store, people are casually walking by as if they are unaware of the lurking cryptid's presence. Additionally, towards the end of the video, the locals recording it seem to be laughing. The laughter could be interpreted in different ways. It might suggest that this encounter is fake or a prank staged by them. This brief video has been circulating on the internet, featuring a homeowner capturing a terrifying sight on their home camera. In the video, we observe a tricycle in a hallway, moving seemingly on its own. What makes it eerie is the slow and deliberate pace at which the tricycle's pedals move. The tricycle continues in the same direction at the same pace until it finally tips over. Also, the hall appears to be empty, with no one present. While tricycles can move on their own under certain conditions, such as a sloped angle floor or wind. In this case, it was on a level floor in a closed building with no apparent air circulation. This leaves us with the mystery of whether this was just a random occurrence, or if there might be a paranormal explanation, such as a child ghost riding the tricycle. The video raises intriguing questions and adds an element of the unexplained to the situation. Driving on a desolate nighttime road can be an invitation for a creepy encounter, and this family experienced just that. In this video, we witness a desolate road with the car's headlights illuminating a terrifying cryptid figure hunched over on the road. The figure's creepy and horrifying body shape is visible, with long, skinny arms, a humanoid body that appears to be bent backward, and long hair. This terrifying cryptid stands motionless right in the middle of the road. The family in the car had a dangerous encounter on their hands, as the cryptid was blocking their path. Trying to pass it from the side could have resulted in an attack. However, rather than quickly driving away from this ominous presence, the family inexplicably remained in their car, recording the scary cryptid. Dogs do all kinds of strange things that we humans don't quite understand, including their ability to sense things we may not see or explain. This video comes from India, where we witness a dog entering a home's gallery. The dog then approaches what appears to be a mat or a hanging piece of metal mesh and curiously hits it with its paw. And as it does so, the dog becomes frightened by a transparent smoky figure that seems to emerge from it. While it's unlikely that this figure is a ghost or anything supernatural, it's possible that the dog's pawing at the mat stirred up some dust or particles, creating the illusion of a smoky form. What's intriguing, however, is the significant amount of dust that seems to emerge from the mat with just a light paw tap, making it a bit unusual. This TikTok video was posted by a user who stumbled upon a strange blue light in the ocean. In the video, we can see the water's surface is illuminated with a strange yet mesmerizing blue glow. It's not any kind of paranormal phenomenon and is known as plankton lights. These lights occur due to bioluminescence in the water, often caused by an algae bloom of plankton. However, the mysterious aspect of this video isn't the plankton lights themselves. As the people recording the video get closer to the plankton lights, a shadowy figure can be seen in the water. The figure's silhouette resembles that of a human, or more precisely, a mermaid. It's only visible for a brief moment, but it's undeniably eerie. While it's possible that the appearance of this shadow is a result of the way low waves interact with light and can play tricks on the eyes, the lingering question remains: what if it's not just an eye illusion? It seems that the woods will forever have its mysteries. In this footage, another terrifying mystery develops via the lens of a thermal camera in the cryptic depths of the woods. Again, just as in the last clip, the owner claims that this was taken in a remote part of a forest at night, a place and time where you would not expect to see anyone strolling around. The footage shows a massive figure, humanoid yet unearthly, moving in the night with strange elegance. Its size dwarfs that of a mere human. According to its movement, not a normal human would walk in this manner. So, what is it? Do you see how it sways its arms as it runs? I'm grateful for technological advancements that have enabled us to spot this being, but still, its features are strange, and some claimed it to be a monkey wandering in the forest. As far as I know, this was taken somewhere in the United States, and I am pretty sure there are no monkeys wandering around in forests there. Is this just a clever hoax, or does it reveal that there will always be species we do not know of, like the Bigfoot? One cannot help but wonder if the truth is hidden not just in this creature. This guy was out in a snowy location, and he seems to be looking for something. As the recording continues and he consistently scans the area, an unsettling appearance discloses itself. A white creature appears out of nowhere, startling him. We only get a slight sight of it, possibly because the person filming must have dropped their phone after seeing it. But we do get a decent look at it. It seems to have the shape of the head of a goat. It has glowing eyes and does not move as it meets face to face with the recorder of this video. Could this guy be in the presence of an otherworldly creature, perhaps an alien, or, in a more sinister case, a shape-shifting skinwalker? This next video adds to the mystery of the woods and the Bigfoot. Some guys were hiking in a forest and they started hearing grunts in the forest, so they got ready for an animal, while at the same time still wanting to film it. This is what they caught. This video captures a mysterious creature wandering amidst the trees in the woods, covered in thick black fur. What makes it chilling is the size of this entity. If I would approximate its height, it looks to be 7 to 8 foot tall. Is it a new species, or perhaps something long thought to be extinct? Or, to be more exact, could this be Bigfoot? What do you think? Is it fake? A person in a really well-made Bigfoot costume, or is it authentic? This video comes from Tamil Nadu, India, depicting a live bear attack witnessed by locals. The scene unfolds with a large gathering of people on the street, appearing to run from something. Suddenly, a bear emerges behind a car and charges towards a man on his bicycle, knocking him to the ground. In response, others in the vicinity start hitting the bear, hoping to divert its attention from the man under attack. Despite the struggle, the bear eventually leaves the man and runs in another direction, concluding the video. The unusual aspect is that even the police force was present on the street, yet they too seemed to be running away from the bear rather than intervening. Fortunately, the man who was attacked emerged unharmed. Such bear attacks can be quite dangerous, and it's indeed a relief that the man came out of the incident without serious injuries. Tesla car owners get to enjoy various advanced features, including self-driving capabilities that use sensors to detect surrounding traffic. However, as shown in this intriguing video, these features can sometimes lead to unexpected detections, even of ghosts. Don't believe it. Take a look for yourself. Recorded by a Tesla owner, the video demonstrates how the car's sensors indicate the presence of two individuals on bikes to the right side of the vehicle. The catch: when the driver checks, there's no one there.
The Tesla thinks there's somebody on a bike next to me, but there's nobody there. I'm gonna drive through and start.
Interestingly, the car was parked behind another vehicle, but the sensor insisted there were bikes nearby. Tesla's autopilot relies on cameras to monitor the surroundings, identifying vehicles, pedestrians, road markings, and obstacles. While the possibility of autopilot malfunctioning is acknowledged, the driver showed in another clip that the glitch disappeared after moving from a stoplight, and the car no longer displayed any ghostly bike riders. Driving on a deserted road can indeed be a creepy and eerie experience, and encountering something like a werewolf would be the stuff of nightmares for any driver. In this particular case, the driver was cruising along a quiet road when they suddenly slammed on their brakes after spotting something highly unusual at the roadside. This creature doesn't resemble any familiar species. While some might argue that it has a wolf-like appearance, a closer look reveals some very peculiar traits. Unlike regular wolves, this creature appears to be strolling about on its hind legs, which is quite unusual. Additionally, its arms seem skeletal and lacking flesh. Its ears might resemble those of a dog, but the combination of its arm structure and the way it walks on its hind legs gives it an eerie, almost monstrous quality. The big question here is, what could this creature possibly be? A man was peacefully sleeping when suddenly his ducks outside started making a ruckus as if they were under attack by some predator. In a hurry, he rushed outside with his camera, hoping to capture whatever was disturbing them. As he pointed his camera towards their shelter, everything seemed normal at first. However, if we rewind the video and slow it down, we can spot an eerie sight. A pair of eerie, lifeless glowing eyes lurking near the duck's house. These mysterious eyes quickly darted out of view when the camera turned their way. In the moment, the man recording the video didn't notice the unsettling eyes, but when he later reviewed the footage, he was shocked by what he saw. Now, he's much more likely to believe his ducks when they start making a commotion again. In a video captured by a hiker during a trip through the Canadian forest, something initially appeared to be a lurking bear among the trees. However, as the hikers zoomed in for a closer look, it became clear that this was no bear. Strangely, this creature seemed to recognize the hiker, despite the hiker's attempts to remain hidden in some bushes. For some time, this mysterious creature simply stared blankly at the hiker, almost as if it was studying him. Eventually, it retreated back into the depths of the forest. What makes this encounter especially eerie is the uncertainty of its intention. Right from the beginning, this creature appeared massive, even though we never got a full view of its body. It was covered in thick orange-brown fur and bore a striking resemblance to the legendary Bigfoot. Ghosts might not be aware of our modern security cameras and surveillance technology, often choosing to reveal themselves when they believe no one is watching. A peculiar encounter occurred in the kitchen of a restaurant after it had closed for the night. In this eerie incident, the trolley began to move on its own, sliding a short distance before items resting on it tumbled to the ground. It was a closed environment with no one present, eliminating the possibility of a breeze or wind causing the movement. While some might argue that the floor had a slight slope, causing the trolley's movement, it raises a curious question. Why were the other two trolleys nearby not affected in the same way? This inexplicable sight left those who witnessed it feeling both unsettled and bewildered. One can only imagine the unease restaurant workers might feel. This intriguing video originates from a trail camera placed within an Australian ironwood forest. Its primary purpose was to monitor the local fox population, but it ended up capturing something truly captivating. As the video begins, we're presented with a nighttime view of the forest. Suddenly, the sound of branches crunching under pressure becomes evident, indicating the presence of something moving. Then, a dark figure emerges, strolling through the woods. This figure stands impressively tall and massive, easily measuring around 8 to 9 feet in height. Its appearance is somewhat humanoid, marked by a hunched back and long, slender arms. The mystery of this creature's identity has sparked debates among viewers. Some speculate it could be the Australian version of Bigfoot, while others propose that it might be a chimpanzee or even a gorilla. What do you think this colossal being could be? Considering that we've only explored 5% of the ocean, it's intriguing to ponder what incredible and massive creatures might inhabit the remaining 95%. This video offers a glimpse of the ocean, and we can spot a large, enigmatic creature on the water surface. Right from the beginning, this creature appears remarkably large and possesses an unusual half-body that doesn't resemble any aquatic creature we're familiar with. As it swims further away, its enormous body displaces a significant amount of water, emphasizing its immense size. Additionally, in the video, we can see other fishermen working in the distance. It's quite unnerving to imagine them laboring in the vicinity of this mysterious river monster. This video was captured by a trail camera, intended to monitor animal activity, but ended up recording something quite disturbing. In the video, we observe a well-worn trail running through the forest, suggesting frequent human use. It's nighttime, and a man enters the frame seemingly unfazed by the potential risks of walking along such a forest path after dark. The man casually progresses down the trail, but after taking a few steps, something startles him. A dark figure attacks him, gripping his leg and attempting to drag him away. The man resists, regains his composure, and flees. Interestingly, the figure that attacked him doesn't appear to be human, but rather a transparent, dark ghost-like entity. After the attack, this ghostly figure vanishes into thin air. The question arises, was this a genuine encounter with a ghostly entity? Or could there be another explanation for this eerie incident? As a solo hiker, the last thing you want is an unknown creature stalking you from the depths of the woods. Unfortunately, that's precisely what happened to this hiker. In the video, we can see that the hiker is recording his surroundings in a forest, and it appears he's deep within its heart. While recording, he spots something incredibly creepy. A dark figure peering out from behind a tree, staring directly at him. Witnessing this, the hiker becomes increasingly scared and anxious, and you can hear his heavy breathing. He can hardly believe his eyes that there's a creature peeking at him. At first, he considers the possibility that his mind might be playing tricks on him. But as he approaches the figure, it moves and swiftly disappears behind the tree. When the hiker sees the figure move, he bolts for his life. Undoubtedly, this was a genuinely terrifying sighting, and if I were the hiker, I would have hightailed it out of there at the very first glimpse of this Bigfoot-like creature. This video was recorded from a harvester, and the uploader claims to have clear evidence of a Bigfoot sighting. The video is slowed down, and it shows a view of a field at the edge of a forest. Suddenly, a massive figure jumps from a tree, then starts running to the left, makes a hard right turn, and disappears back into the woods. This creature appears human-like and is quite massive. It strongly resembles the legendary Bigfoot, which is known to inhabit deep forests. Seeing this video, it's clear that this Bigfoot was far from its usual habitat. What might have brought the Bigfoot out there? Perhaps it was curious about the harvester machine, or interested in the person operating the machine. The video raises intriguing questions about the behavior of this elusive creature. Skinwalkers are creatures known for taking the disguise of different animals and sometimes even humans. This video comes from Florida's Apache Sitgreaves Forest, and in it, we can see thermal footage of the forest. In the woods, there is a human moving with quite impressive speed. You might be thinking, what's wrong with a human moving in the forest? But the strange thing here is that this was recorded in the middle of the Apache Sitgreaves Forest. Encountering a human wandering alone in the middle of the forest seems highly unusual. While it's possible that this could be a regular person, humans can be unpredictable. The possibility of it being a skinwalker can't be ruled out entirely. This video was captured by marine biologists using cameras placed in the deep ocean to observe rare marine life. One of the cameras filming beneath the sea captured something extraordinarily long and massive in the distance. It's known that deep-sea aquatic life tends to avoid light, as they typically dwell in the darkness for most of their lives. So the marine biologists operating the cameras from their control station above decided to turn off the camera flashes. As the flashes dimmed, a pair of eyes emerged from the darkness, gazing directly at the camera. Just by observing these eyes, one can imagine the immense size of this unknown sea creature. After witnessing this video, I'm content knowing that these creatures reside deep below the surface. The question remains, will they ever venture up to the surface? This video is from an abandoned Essex County hospital, where a group of explorers is venturing through its eerie corridors. As the camera pans around, we get a glimpse of the debris-laden floor, and the overall atmosphere of the place seems quite spooky. The explorer playfully acknowledges the peculiar nature of exploring such abandoned locations. However, the tone shifts abruptly when he notices something off camera, bringing attention to the mysterious presence. The camera then unveils a hallway. At the far end stands a creepy figure, crouched on all fours. The dim lighting makes it hard to make out specific details, but the figure gives the impression of a humanoid with spider-like features, using both hands and hind legs. Upon spotting the camera, this frightening creature charges straight towards the explorers, prompting them to run. The peculiar appearance raises questions and sparks curiosity about the nature of this mysterious creature within the confines of the abandoned hospital. For more captivating content like this, click here. You may have come across many Bigfoot sightings captured on camera, but have you ever seen a Bigfoot captured by people and kept in a cage? A spooky video has surfaced on Reddit, showing a cage placed in the middle of a forest with a massive creature inside it. Inside the cage, there are cameras that provide a clear view of this legendary creature's imposing presence. It emits a rather terrifying growl and is covered in a thick coat of fur. In addition to the creature, you can also see other people around the cage, recording this Bigfoot-like figure. The Bigfoot in the video appears to be very aggressive, and clearly doesn't like being inside the cage. It's desperately trying to break free, and its immense power is causing the entire cage to shake. If this video is indeed genuine, it raises the possibility that we might see these mighty creatures in our zoos in the years to come. A man had a strange problem in his apartment. His food kept disappearing, and he suspected his girlfriend, but she denied it.
So I kept on finding food missing in my apartment that I knew I wasn't eating. I confronted my girlfriend who lives with me about it, and she claimed she wasn't eating it. So I decided I'm going to set up a video camera and I'm going to catch her. This is what I found.
To catch her in the act, the man set up a security camera. What he discovered was truly terrifying. He placed the camera in his kitchen and went to sleep. After about 2 hours, there was some movement above the doorway, and then a person came out of it. This person stepped onto a table, and it turned out to be a messy-looking girl who seemed like she might be homeless. The girl acted like she owned the place, confidently opening the fridge and moving around as if it were her home. It appeared that she had been doing this for a while. After snacking from the fridge, the girl casually sat on the sofa and watched TV. Then, she went back to the fridge, but heard the homeowner approaching, so she hid behind the sofa. When the homeowner came in for a drink of water and left again, she emerged, had more food, and then disappeared back to where she came from. The man woke up and went about his daily routine, completely unaware of this creepy encounter. After watching the video and seeing how comfortable the lady was, it made the homeowner wonder if she had been living with them unnoticed for a long time. A video was posted on TikTok by a user named The Weird Shelf. In the video, a man is seen with his dog, and both of them notice something in the distance. They spot a creature moving around in the bushes up ahead. The dog, all excited, takes off after it. The man tries to stop the dog, but it's too eager and fast. As the dog barks and chases the strange creature, it starts to move back into the forest. When we zoom in closely, we can see that this creature looks like a mix of an ape and a human, and it has a thick black coat of fur. It's also quite large compared to the surrounding bushes, and stands upright. What do you think this creature could have been? Hikers often have encounters with strange creatures, and one such unsettling experience was recorded by an unfortunate hiker. In the video, we can see the hiker who seems anxious and scared, moving the camera hastily. As he continues, he hears the sound of a nearby tree shaking. He quickly turns the camera towards the source and witnesses the tree violently trembling. Upon zooming in, he spots an incredibly odd and huge humanoid creature, causing the commotion. This sight terrifies the hiker. As he records this horrifying being, it becomes aware of his presence and starts making frightening grunting and growling sounds. Hearing these unsettling noises, the hiker runs for his life, and the video ends. When we get a closer look at this creature, we can see that it's quite massive and covered in thick fur. Its face looks quite strange and is unlike any known animal. Could it be an ape or a massive gorilla? Or perhaps something even more ominous, like a Bigfoot? This next video comes from a Russian road camera and captures a truly unusual phenomenon. In the video, we can see a view of a remote road. After a few seconds, a light orb begins to form in front of us in the woods. At first, this orb is relatively dim, but then it suddenly becomes brilliantly bright. Afterward, the orb starts to move. It glides and passes right beside the camera, eventually moving out of the frame. This occurrence is quite strange because the light was simply a radiant orb. There were no discernible outlines of its source or the object emitting it. It was just pure, unexplained light. If you have any ideas or explanations for this strange orb, please share them in the comments below for others to see. Just like humans, some people believe that ghosts might have children, and they too might want to play just like we do. This video captures something that seems like that. In the video, we can see a tricycle moving all by itself. Its pedals are moving as if someone is riding it even though there's no one there. It goes on for a while and then tips over. Some people who've seen this video suggest that maybe the floor slope is causing the tricycle to move, or it could be the wind. These explanations could make sense, but the owner of the place confirmed that the floor was perfectly level. Also, if it were the wind, why would it only affect the tricycle? This video is quite puzzling because there's a mystery surrounding why the tricycle is behaving this way. This video was filmed by a fisherman while he was boating on a Canadian lake. While he was cruising along, he noticed a figure passing at the edge of the forest in the distance. Even though the distance was considerable, we can see that the creature appears to resemble Bigfoot. It's also possible that it could have been a very large ape or gorilla because they too have fur and a similar shape to this creature. However, its enormous size suggested that it was the mighty Bigfoot. If you compare its size to the trees in the background, it looks like this Bigfoot-like creature could be between 10 and 12 feet tall. Thankfully, it didn't appear to be able to swim. Otherwise, it might have swum towards the boat and caused a very tense situation. A man claimed to have recorded footage of the rake near his house. The video begins with a cameraman pointing his camera at some bushes at nighttime. It seems like he saw something and is using a flashlight to get a better look. While investigating the bushes, he spots something in the distance, but can't quite make out if it's an animal or something else. However, as he continues to observe, it becomes clear to him, and he starts shouting at it. The man then approaches to get a closer look and discovers a strange creature lurking there. It was a truly terrifying sight for both the viewers and the cameraman, prompting him to run away. The man claimed it was a rake, which is typically described as a tall, hairless, pale humanoid creature. What do you think it could have been? For more captivating content like this, click here. Thank you for tuning in.